exploring the transformation of Kolb's theory of experiential learning. In this presentation, you'll be required to do reflections on the questions asked using a journal entry. Would you feel prepared to hike this mountain after reading how to do it in a book? Why or why not? If you walk through this field of flowers, would you describe them in greater details compared to someone who has only read the information about them from a book? If you stand at the edge of the ocean to experience the smell of the salt in the air and the sand at your feet, could you describe your experience better than someone who has only read about it in a book? Do we learn better from experience? Imagine standing barefoot, staring out to sea for the very first time. Perhaps you've studied about glaciers and their immense size and temperature because you're in the field of study regarding marine biology. But is that the same as physically witnessing one? What if you were standing on this iceberg? In a world of great technology and intelligence, would you trust someone to operate a laser on you for the first time? Experiential learning is not only beneficial to us as students, but to us as practitioners and consumers of the multitude of knowledge available to us as learners at every level. More importantly, would you want a doctor performing surgery on you if you were his first operation, knowing that he came from a top school? Would you want a mechanic fixing your car if he has only read about how it was done? Would you want to go downhill skiing by yourself down the steepest mountain after merely reading how to do it? The purpose of this lesson is to take you from Kolb's basic learning model and show you how it has transformed others in the educational industry to provide what we now call service learning. According to Kolb, learning is the process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. Kolb's experiential learning model transforms to what we now call service learning. Let us look at learning styles in the way you learn. As you read them, write down which one or ones that you use. Four different learning styles: diverger, assimilator, converger, accommodator. Kolb's technical terminology is concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. The simplified version is do, observe, think, and plan. With regard to diverger, understanding the purpose for the course they are taking is important to them. Assimilator, they focus on the content of the information being taught for comprehension purposes. Converger, knowing how this knowledge will apply to real life is important to them. Accommodator, these are your hands-on learners who experiment to see how things happen through discovery. This is only one of four learning styles and one type of example for a divergent learner. Divergent learning example. Ask them to brainstorm a class topic on educational theory. What other topic might they brainstorm about? Assimilator example. Ask them to reflect on a class topic. Again, this is only one of the learning styles, and reflecting on something already taught is a preference to this type of a learner. Tell me something that was interesting to you that you were asked to reflect on in the past, perhaps in a previous class. Convergent learner example. Ask them to perform an experiment outside using trial and error methods. Tell me various experiments that you might have your students perform outside. Here are some examples. Collect statistical data on the weather, observational data on animals using variables, or something as simple as gathering data on responses to various bait for fishing. Accommodator learning example. Ask them to solve a mathematical puzzle or provide them with hands-on experience. Which learning style do you prefer? Can we use all 4 learning styles at once? How would it benefit someone to utilize all 4? Do these learning styles affect student performance in a service learning setting? In the future, a classroom and experience-based liberal arts education will be the core of the post-high school academic experience. Do you agree with this statement from Roger Herman of USA Today? Keep in mind, this was a statement he wrote back in 2000. Service learning involves practical work with a civic service orientation, and although the work is conducted in a setting outside the university, it is carried out in courses and other programs that are part of the formal curriculum. This is according to Forsyth, Liu, and McGurr. Do you feel that a formal curriculum needs service learning? Could you imagine if agricultural education only occurred in a classroom? What experiences would a student learn in a typical agricultural classroom? Would you, if you were a student, consider entering state fairs if service learning was not part of the curriculum? Why or why not? According to Bringle, research on service learning appears to indicate that students perform better in tests, benefit in terms of some personal and cognitive outcomes, and give more positive course evaluations in courses to which service learning has been added. Do you agree or disagree with this? Elmendorf stated, "Relearning is at the heart of what scholars do as they continually rethink their ideas and practices." Yet, our college curriculum traditionally assumes that a one-time encounter with a topic can be equated with having learned it. Do you agree or disagree with this? Do you believe that current college curriculum exposes you to many topics only once? Looking at musicians and their need for repetition and practice, do we all master knowledge on that one encounter? Saltmarsh eloquently remarks, "Community service learning is a pedagogy of reflective inquiry linking students' affective and cognitive development and connecting institutions of higher education to communities of which they are a part." Reflect on your own personal education and share how service learning in your previous classrooms enhanced your learning. Would you send a firefighter into an inferno without providing him with experiential learning, also known as service learning? I have provided some obvious careers in this presentation that we cannot imagine what life would be like without them being trained in their field of expertise. Create a list of professionals who are not provided experiential learning but would benefit greatly if they were allowed this opportunity. How would the community businesses benefit if these same professionals were experienced before they actually hired them? Use all of your reflections from this presentation to formulate your own view on whether you agree or disagree with whether or not service learning should be available to students at the college level. Should service learning be provided only to certain fields of study, or should it be provided to everyone?